Sweet. Okay. Welcome to our team call. We're excited you're here. Hopefully, I know Melissa had a few minutes to watch some of the video that I posted. I'm not sure if you did, Sarah. It was a longer one. It's called the 500 PV model. So I would love to talk with you about it, Melissa, just as we go, more of discussion or anything. And I don't know, since you're getting your hair done, if you watched it, Sarah, but if you did, I would love to have you chime in. I'm going to share my screen and share some of the slides that she had on the call. So one reason, just to preface this call, one reason I really liked this whole idea is because I feel like it takes the pressure off from pushing or selling challenge packs and hitting Success Club and puts the emphasis and the focus more on hitting 500 PV. So for those of you who don't know, PV is personal volume, and that comes from any of your personal orders or any of your customer orders. So every item that you sell has a PV associated with it. So Shakeology is 90 PV, and it depends on how much each different challenge pack is, but each challenge pack is associated with a PV. What else? The Shakeology samplers are associated with a PV. So this whole thing focuses around being a 500 PV coach, like hitting 500 PV every month. So she also talked about how that can be a confident goal, not necessarily an easy goal, but it's one that if you're doing the right things, you can push yourself and, confidently reach it. And I feel like too, for me, I kind of feel this pressure to sell my challenge packs that, like, if someone's not ready to invest in a challenge pack, I almost kind of like overlook them when I shouldn't. I should be helping them maybe with a small, with like sampler pack or, something that costs a little bit less and, meet them where they're at. Because really that's why we're here, right? Is to like help people no matter what they can invest at the current time. So, and honestly, you guys, it might be a little bit of a slower process, but by helping someone, even if it's a smaller investment by then, and giving them like a totally like awesome experience, you're going to just hold them as a customer for longer, which will eventually lead them to the larger purchases anyway. But anyway, I just really I feel like challenge packs and Success Club really launched the company to where we're at. But then we got so focused on numbers and rank that we are, I don't know, just it like wears you out, right? And yeah, and if you don't hit the goal, you're like, oh, I suck. And yeah, so anyway, I really liked what she had to say about this. So I wanted to I'm going to figure out how to share my screen. Just a second. And okay, share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah.
Can I just ask you a quick question, Allie?
Yes, please do.
I want to clarify something. When I was watching it, I thought it was 500 PV a week. It's a month?
It's a month. Yes.
Oh, I went back into like the back office and checked to see like how often I had hit 500 a week. And I was so discouraged.
Yeah, no, 500 a month. So
okay.
By getting your 3 challenge packs, you would probably hit that. Like, so if you're doing what you're already doing and hitting Success Club, like you'd be hitting the 500 PV anyway. Okay. It just gives us a better focus. Like,
yeah.
Does that make sense? Anyway, especially, not every week. That's like super overwhelming.
Okay. I was trying for like 200, 250 every week.
Oh,
so I thought I had to be aiming for 500, but 500 a month is doable for sure.
And you guys, volume here. Let me stop sharing my screen. I don't know how to do that, guys. Stop. Oh, there's like a word that says stop share right there. Oh yeah, building volume is really what's going to build your business anyway, not necessarily challenge packs. And so while challenge packs give you volume, of course, if you feel more pressure to like hit the challenge pack mark, sometimes it won't even get you to the 500 PV and you'll overlook other smaller sales that you could have had or whatever that would attribute to your PV. And this business, if you want to build for rank, that's great. If you want to build like for financial freedom, you want to build for volume. And so I like that this way of her thinking or whatever is all based on financial freedom and on volume. And she really focuses on, it's called like your main goal is to hit emerald and then repeat. Like you hit emerald and then you train those 2 coaches to hit emeralds. And you just keep like repeat, hit emerald and then hit emerald again. So, okay, I'm going to share my screen and go through it because I'm running out of time because I keep blabbering. Share screen. Okay, so first things first, they talk about, and I can't see you now, so if you have something to say, just like say hello. So anyway, okay, so a 500 PV coach. What is a 500 PV coach? Okay, it's someone that lives the 4 vital behaviors. It's someone that is already inviting, like, okay, I'm doing this, come do it with me. What you're already doing, you guys. A 500 PV coach is comfortable and confident asking, like, how have you been and how's your health? She's exposed like her circle of influence to her journey enough that wouldn't be like an uncommon question to ask. How's your health? How are you doing? How's your health? A 500 PV coach knows the formula, find your health, or knows how to find your healthy formula, which what that means is just, talking to someone and figuring out what their goals are and then telling them the components to what we feel is the healthy formula, which is exercise, simple nutrition, and support. A 500 PV coach nurtures their contacts and their customers. It's not just about like finding the challenge pack sale. It's about nurturing relationships, nurturing your contacts and your customers. And then last but not least, it's a 500 PV coach is confident in the product and the company. And make this smaller so I can see you guys better. Can you guys see? Is that too small? Should I make it bigger? Can you guys hear me?
It's pretty tiny, Allie.
Okay.
It was better before.
Just make sure you talk if you want to say something. And please. Okay. Okay. So that's what a 500 PV coach, and that's what this whole thing is based on. Okay. Reaching 500 PV. I just want to make sure you got that so you understand the rest. Okay. So the U+2 model, I really like this. The U+2 model basically means you hit emerald, okay? An emerald coach is the business milestone in this model that she's showing us. So the simple plan is to get to emerald and then build emeralds. The team mindset, it's not what they can do individually, it's what they can duplicate together. And I really like this because we all have different strengths, of course, which we should bring to the table and help each other out. But we really need to make sure what we're doing, if we're going to train our emeralds to be emeralds, we need to be duplicatable. Like this whole model is based on being duplicatable so the people underneath you can follow you. I know for me, sometimes I get to like thinking outside the box, which is great. I'm not saying that's not okay, but I start thinking outside the box and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, like, but this isn't duplicatable for my coaches, if that makes sense at all. So I really liked that she kind of drove that point home for me anyway. So the team goal is to build a 4-generation emerald tribe. So let me show you what that looks like. Right here. 4-generation emerald tribe. Okay, so first and foremost, every coach should be hitting 500 PV. You or more, you and then everyone in the model. Like that's what you're training people to do, is to hit 500 PV and then hit emerald. Okay, and that's it. So 500 plus customer base, PV. Okay, then you teach your personally sponsored coaches how to hit emeralds, and then you teach them how to teach their coaches how to build to emerald and how to build emeralds themselves. So you do that for 4 generations deep. And then this is what's going to create her emerald tribe, is what she calls it. So here's a diagram. So can you guys, Melissa or Sarah, can you see my cursor? Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Okay. So this is here's you, 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations, and then 4 generations right here. This is the emerald tribe, and this is what she continually, like, this is the whole focus is right here. doing just this, like not going beyond this, and you do eventually, but it's all based on the Emerald Tribe. So if you're hitting 500 PV right here, so this is your U plus 2. If you just do U and your 2 emeralds, this is U plus 2 right here. Okay, so if you're doing 500 PV and your 2 emerald coaches are doing 500 PV, then you're going to cycle 3 times, okay, which is going to give you $42. I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm like second guessing myself. What's the difference here? How come she has 2 numbers? Hold on.
Which is total.
I think it's because you're going to cycle.
Well, go ahead, Melissa.
Well, I think it's that you're going to cycle it like 42 plus 42 plus 42.
Oh, right. You're going to cycle. Well, no. Well, you wouldn't cycle
Nope, that doesn't work either. And I teach math. That's sad.
Okay, just 1 second.
Will create 7,500 points in volume.
Okay, hold on.
500 for the emerald that you're personally sponsored, and then 3,500 on each of their 2 legs.
So here.
What the U plus 2 will generate for an emerald, just that one little emerald with the 2 people, in the 500 coach PV coach model, is they'll earn about $167 that month. As soon as they go and take that to a next generation, so that's U plus 6.
Maybe that's per week. Maybe this is 42 per week. That makes sense, right? No, that wouldn't make sense.
No.
Okay, well, she didn't say what the 42 is for. But this is what you would make per month. So if it's you and your 2 emeralds, you'd make $167 per month. Okay, and then if you expand that to the U plus 6 model, which goes into the the 3rd generation right here. So 1, 2, 3rd generation here, the U plus 6. So your emerald coach then is an emerald, right? Because they're an emerald coach, and they're hitting 500 PV. That's the main goal. So then you would make $265 a month. And then this is the last part of the Emerald Tribe, this 4th generation, that they then have emeralds that are hitting 500 PV, and the monthly commission would be $447. So this definitely grows. Let's go over here. Hold on. Okay, so right here she talks about, okay, so here's the $447. When you have an Emerald Tribe they're all reaching 500 PV per month, okay? And we'll talk about how to do that towards the end of the call, or on the team page, depending how close, how far I get into this before I have to pick up my daughter. So $447. So a classic Diamond 90, what does that mean? Okay, this means how kind of it's set up right now when you're a Diamond coach and you're just hitting 90 PV. I'm just going to skip the slide right here so you can see it. Right here. The classic, this is how the Diamond setup that we're all familiar with. Here's you got 4 coaches on this side, 4 coaches on this side, and an emerald on each side. That's how a Diamond is set up. So kind of the way we're doing it right now, we're not pushing for PV. We're just, we only have to have 90 PV to be an active coach, right? That's like our only requirement to be an active coach. So that's all we're really hitting. And so if everyone just is hitting 90 PV, that's $54 a month. Like that's, if I'm a Diamond coach and I'm making $54 a month and that happens for a while, I can see like how that wouldn't be a draw for me to continue. You know, if I'm not, we're in this to help people, we're also in this to make money. And so this, you're just not going to stick with it long enough. Right here, this organization setup right here is, the whole organization is based on like product. Like your coaches are product users rather than building coaches, if that makes sense, you know, because they're not hitting that volume, that 500 PV. So this is what a classic Diamond coach is, okay? And then if you move on to what she calls the 500 PV Diamond coach, okay? So this is now set up not where we're all hitting 90 PV, but when you are hitting 500 PV, and then like all of the coaches under you are still focused on that Emerald Tribe and the U plus 2 where you're hitting 500 PV. Okay, so but in order to do that, you need to be duplicatable so you can teach your coaches how to hit Emerald. You know, you're not focused on like huge ranks and crazy numbers. but something that's not easily attainable, but you can confidently set as a goal in your mind. I hope that makes sense. So if you set up this 500.
Can I jump in for just a second, Allie?
Yes.
I figured out the calculations. So on the last one and on this one, it says 25% of 500 PV. So you're already making $125, and then you're going to cycle 360 for a total of 485.
Right.
And it was the same on the other one. So it was you cycle for $42, but you're already making 125 because you have 500 PV.
Okay.
You get 167.
You're so smart.
I just read the slide, girl.
You're awesome.
I didn't have to talk and read the slide at the same time. I just had to look.
Okay, thank you. So this 500 PV, does this make sense so far now that it's small and I can see your faces?
Yes.
I hope so. Because I had to watch this 1.5 times and I'm still like, can I explain this on a call? Okay, so this 500 PV Diamond Coach, if this is how you're building it, as in like Emerald Tribes, okay, then you would be monthly, you would be making $485, okay? You guys, that's awesome. Like, that's totally awesome, $485. But let's look at this. Let's keep going. So this is what she calls Diamond Strong, okay? So this would be where, so you need all these coaches, 4 on each side, right, to hit Diamond. But now she's saying with each coach, this coach has 2 emeralds that you have taught, and you're creating duplicatable material to then hit 500 PV. This coach then has an emerald tribe. This coach has an emerald tribe. This coach has an emerald tribe, okay? They all have emerald tribes. And then look, like 8 emerald tribes, you're making $3,600 a month, okay? 12 emeralds tribe, you're making $5,400 a month, okay? Which is amazing. And I love that this seems more simple in my mind, thinking about emerald and duplication, than challenge packs and building for rank. For some reason, this clicks better in my mind and seems more attainable to me. So, okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so then she talks about the 500 PV mindset. Oh, my computer's gonna die soon. The 500 PV mindset. Okay, there are 3 goals as a 500 PV coach. You want to create raving customers. And I feel like when we are really focused on selling challenge packs, we're not really focused on our customers. You know, we're focused on selling challenge packs. But when you're focused on PV, any PV helps. And so you want to help your customer kind of meet them where they're at. So just like, for example, I had just talked to a girl yesterday. She already has a routine at the gym, and she was looking for better nutrition, and she brought up possibly a meal replacement. So I started talking to her about Shakeology, and she was interested. So I gave her the cost of Shakeology and the link for it. And then I just said, you know what, just so you know, like, so you have 2 options. And then I told her about the all access challenge pack that was on promotion, but that wasn't like my push or my goal. My goal was to help her reach her goals, which was, she wasn't looking for a fitness routine. She was looking for nutrition. And so I wanted that to be my focus, was Shakeology. Then I threw in there the option of the challenge pack, and that's what she ended up going with. So yay, that's great. But just with this 500 PV in my mind, I was more concerned about fulfilling her goals rather than her fulfilling my goals, if that makes any sense. So you want to create raving customers, because word of mouth is where it's at, guys. You want them to fall in love with you, what you have to offer them, your groups, your community. Of course, you want them to fall in love with the product, but you also want them to fall in love with the process and the environment that you're setting up for them. So the goal number 2 is create customers who influence. And I really, really love this, and it's something that I don't utilize enough. Not often. If you have a raving customer, then you can utilize that customer's influence, okay, by like teaching her then to share her journey, not as a coach, you know, but just if she loves, well, you know, if you love a product, you're telling people about it, right? So if you're creating raving customers, you want them to rave about your community, what you have to offer, and then utilize that influence for you. I don't do that ever. Like that comes, I think that maybe that's one reason why one of the vitals is recognition. That really helps there when you start recognizing people in your group and you recognize raving customers and customers who've done well, then you start reaching out into their circle of influence, not just your own.
I was just going to say that Allie, I did like a shout out last night, and then I had so many people message me privately just because of that shout out.
Really?
I had yes, there was a girl in my group who wrote me yesterday talking about Shakeology and how she's no longer pre-diabetic and how she's on blood pressure medication and everything. And I posted her words, and it was ridiculous how many people messaged me just after that post.
That is awesome. See, and you're using her circle of influence. That's no way that you could have, you could have friended her friends, I suppose, but that's a way to really enter her circle of influence, and then she's a raving customer already for you. So I think that's brilliant, and that's something I need to be doing better at. I don't do that. Okay, and the third goal of a 500 PV mindset coach is to create revenue per customer. So I can't remember what she said about that, so I had to look that up. Yeah, so I would just say that goes back to not just pushing product, you guys. Oh no, my computer. Not just pushing. Not just pushing challenge packs. Not just pushing challenge packs.
Do you think that has to do, Allie, with just having people stay on home direct and stuff like that? Because that's a real challenge for me in Canada. Shakeology is so expensive here. And so although they'll buy a challenge pack, I don't have that revenue that per customer.
Right. With the shipping.
You think that's what it's about?
She did talk about right now with our focus being challenge packs, that it's a lot of times she was saying coaches will sell a challenge pack, and then if someone says, I don't want to be on Shakeology monthly, they're like, okay, here's the email to cancel, right off the bat, telling them how to cancel and everything like that, rather than teaching them about what the product is and letting them experience the product and stuff like that. You want to retain the customers that you already have. So, but you're right, it's an issue with shipping to Canada. That's it's so expensive.
And the dollar exchange. So it's almost $200 to buy Shakeology in Canada.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. What about, is that with your coach discount?
With my coach, so I pay $20 for my coach fee and $140 for Shakeology. So I'm still paying $160 as a coach.
Yeah. So yeah. So $140 for Shakeology is what it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is more expensive there for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's a concern and that a lot of people are concerned about it. So I'm not sure. It'll be interesting.
I'm just wondering if that's what she means by create revenue per customer, so that the person continues to buy from you.
Yeah, it could be. You want to listen to it?
But I guess there could be other things too, like Beachbody performance line stuff and other things too.
You want to listen to it?
No, I can do it on my own time. It's okay.
Okay. Sorry, I should know that, but I was
That's okay.
more focused on the other stuff. Okay. So Beachbody's unique healthy formula solution. So she talked about that a little bit earlier. I had mentioned that. So it's everything you already know. That what we have to offer is fun, fitness, nutrition that's simple, and then support. And that's what I love these focuses and these short goals, especially creating raving customers. I know for me, I just sound like I'm just repeating myself because I am, but this was just really eye-opening for me to get my eyes off of challenge packs. While it's good and that will definitely build your business, and I'm still aiming for that as a goal, I feel like 500 PV really helps me. First, you're building volume, but then bring it back to the customer for me personally. Okay, so she goes into a few different ideas on how to hit your 500 PV, but you guys, it's 6:30 and I need to go pick up my daughter. So I'm curious what your thoughts are, just really quick, about the 500 PV model. What do you think of it?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that like the coaches that I have on my team are always stressed about the challenge pack.
Mhm.
And they like don't get all excited when somebody like signs up for the $99 Beachbody on Demand or
Right.
you know. So I think that I'll be able to talk to them about this a little bit more now that we've done the team call.
Yeah, I love it. And especially if we can come up with a duplicatable system. So right when a coach signs up, we can say, okay, this is your goal. Like our goal is for you to hit 500 PV and reach Emerald. And this is how you do it. Like here's a list of things you can do to hit 500 PV. And then this is how you get a coach. And then this is how you get those coaches to Emerald, like 3 different steps and then repeat. Like you're doing that and then repeat. And so then each coach, when you hit Diamond, each one of those coaches has that Emerald tribe and you're really like, anyway. Yeah. So
I think like you said, it's more attainable.
Yeah. It seems that way in my head too.
Yeah.
So.
And I like what you said earlier, because I was thinking it in my head and then you actually said it about meeting people where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us that opportunity to do that as opposed to like trying to hit Success Club or
right. Agreed.
that challenge pack.
Totally agreed. Were you going to say something, Sarah?
Yeah. If it's, like you said, it's more obtainable. It's easier to think all I need to do is hit Emerald. And then my focus becomes my coach is hitting Emerald.
Mm-hmm.
Your focus isn't like, okay, now I need to be Diamond. Now I need to be 10 Diamond. Now I need to be ridiculous amount of Diamond. You're more worried about, I get to Emerald,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get you to Emerald. And then it just becomes, it takes the focus off of what you need to do and the stress to get you there, and actually helping someone else is helping yourself.
Totally.
It's easier to get your mind around.
Yeah, I think so too. That really helped me. So I encourage you to go. She says everything's so much better and goes into detail about other things too. So if you have time, go ahead and watch the call or her call, and feel free to comment what your takeaways or whatever. And then we can need a chat about what sort of system we can come up with. We have a great training as far as entering being a coach, but really after that, I know that Tiffany, our upline, is coming up with a training for this, which is really great. So maybe I'll reach out to her and see how I can help with that, and we can talk about what we feel like we can do to do those things. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah.
Go get your daughter.
Yeah, I have to go get my daughter. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.